Diamond Cutter, boy. Good morning, Big OG Sid coming at you. Roll call. Look, guys, today I'm excited but scared. If you notice, it's very bright in here. Nothing scares Big OG Sid except ghosts, straight up, and syphilis. But here's the thing. I've never had syphilis, but I have seen ghosts. And I'm going to tell you guys the craziest ghost story for when I was locked up in prison. Because just tons of haunted prisons, bro. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Got to get a drink of water. That's enough, bro. I don't trust. I like Gatorade and stuff like that. Mountain Dew, Monster Energy drink. But dude, right here, I'm gonna tell you guys, this is not only the scariest ghost story ever, bro. It's never been explained. And I have so many ghost stories, so many scary stories. Also, I'm gonna be ghost hunting. But this story starts out, I was in California prison. And it was me and my cellmate, right? It was me and Ratchet. I mean, bro, when I talk about solid Caucasians, this dude was a solid Caucasian. So it's me and him were locked up. And we were at lockdown at the time. It was a race war, people getting poked up. It was crazy. So we were locked down. And there was 3 bunk beds in a lot of these cells. So Ratchet's in there one day and the door pops, man. The lieutenant's like, yo, what's up, y'all? We're like, what's up, dude? He's like, well, make sure your cell's cleaned up. But the door's open, right? And we see this other inmate come in, right? He's got an old box, bro, like what they had from like the 20s, like where they kept their property in. And the door goes behind. We're like, oh, the sergeant's telling us to clean it up because we're getting a new cellmate. And it was strange because in California, you don't have 3 dudes in a cell unless you're Wes Watson with his 2 weird gay friends. That's a different story, though, straight up. So we're sitting in there, we're like chopping it up with this old dude. And this dude is so old. When I say old, bro, he looked like Abraham Lincoln. If Abraham Lincoln would have been on like a 10-day meth bender. Like, it was crazy. He was old, bro. Deep wrinkles and stuff like that, bro. He got some racist tattoos, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he was old. We thought it was his past, gang-related stuff. So we're sitting there chopping it up, da-da-da. And he's telling us, yeah, he's the laundry dude. They're going to let him out at night to do the laundry. And he's like, he's explaining to us, yeah, how I do the laundry is. He goes, and it's just a joke for me and the old timers. And he kept saying old timers. We're like, bro, say a solid Caucasian convict. But he said, me and the old time. He said, what we do is, this is just what we do to pass the time, because it wasn't much. He goes, when I first was locked up, we didn't have a lot of things. We didn't have a lot of food. It was a rough time in the country. And so it was a rougher time in prison. Y'all see where I'm going with this. So he's sitting there, he's like, dude, so what I do is, and he's telling me to Ratchet this. He's like, I just, like, if you want a new pair of underwear, you just leave your old dirty underwear under your pillow, and I come around and get it. And we're like, bruh. Because this dude had been locked up, he said, for 47 years. We're like, bro, that's crazy. That sounds a little gay. But since he was a solid Caucasian, we passed it off like he was a jokester. He was doing, he was trying to, because there's a lot of tension in prison. Break the ice, stuff like that. Not like actual ice. Yeah, because you don't break that, but he's put it in a bowl and melt it down, side point. But the thing about it is, so he would leave every night at 10 o'clock. The cell would pop. Or what we thought we heard pop. And he would go out there, right, to do his stuff. And he'd come back in, stuff like that, tell us about his night doing laundry. And Ratchet would always, before he would, about 9 o'clock, we'd make some soup. And we'd break it down into 3 bowls, all this stuff, put the, hot sauce on it, a pickle, stuff like that, a little bit of tuna, peanut butter, you know what I'm saying? Straight swole, bro. And we always would tell him, bro, before you, you should work out with us, do some burpees. So we would go do burpees at 8 o'clock. Oh, just burps. Not a burpee, an actual burp, right? 9 Pop-Tarts this morning. I'm on a diet, straight up. And so we do burpees, we come back in, make the soups. Well, what we would do is we would lay down, we'd be listening to our music and stuff like that, pop down a few bars, stuff like that. And we would always get up a couple hours later and be like, yo, the old timer, which his name is I'm not going to tell you his name right now, but I'm going to tell you in a minute. So the old timer would be like, bruh, he doesn't eat his soup. And so he'd come back in the next morning after, getting people's underwear and stuff. And we say, bro, you not hungry? He's like, dude, I'm just not hungry. We're like, bro, we always make soup for you. We always ask you, do you want soup? You say yes, and then you don't eat it, bro. And so we have to eat it cold or something like that. Because you don't throw food away in prison. That's true. And so, straight up, dude, we would go through this thing where we would make soup and we'd see it wasn't eaten. You know what I'm saying? We're like, bro, that's crazy, bro. He's like, I'm just not hungry, this and that. So we're sitting there one day, right? And at this time, we were in lockdown because of a war. Like, straight, like, stabbing people. But it was like, just riots going off all around me. That's where my mind's the clearest. And so one time, the cell doors were open because they were doing, like, some repair work. So if, like, unless, like, you had attacked a guard, they would let your door be open, even though it was lockdown. So I guess these dudes, these other dudes, these black dudes, these Hispanic dudes, these other white dudes, kind of like jizzles, like 1090J homosexuals, they decided to run up in our cell. And this is where it gets really, like, crazy. So, like, 20, 30 dudes try to run up on us. And me and Ratchet and the old timer were sitting there, right? And his bed was always made. It just never looked like it was slept in. It was amazing. He was very neat. We thought that. And so these dudes attack us, dude, and I had a blade in each hand, literally. I was just like, I could feel bones breaking. Because my blade was like that, dude. It was crazy. And I had a blade in each hand. So me and Ratchet going to battle. The problem is we were getting hit. And that's still one of my scars right there, bro. This is from when me, Ratchet, and the old timer got in a serious race war. And the reason they attacked us, because we were making so much money, they were jealous, bro. Straight jealous. And you can ask Mitch Smiley, because he was there when I was doing this time. He can, he'll vouch for everything I say. He knows I'm solid. And he's the only convict that's probably more solid than me. But that's just because he's got more years in prison under his belt. But here's the thing. So we're stabbing these dudes, they're stabbing us. And all the cops finally come in, they're like, yo, dude. And we hear helicopters coming in, and I'm laying there bleeding. I literally took out like 12 dudes, like completely take them out. And Ratchet took out like 8 of them, dude. And it's like body bags and coroners and governors and Pentecostals and stuff all up in there. And I'm laying there on the stretcher like Ratchet. He's like, yeah. And Ratchet, they're starting to put a tube down his throat. Sorry. Because I didn't think my boy was going to make it then. And so they taking him out, and I'm like, Lieutenant, man, please, the old timer, bro. He was standing because the old timer had blades, and he was just like, I mean, it was crazy. This old timer moved. He would like pop one place, pop another one, like, bruh, them burpees are working. I'm like, dude, and he got poked up too, the old timer. And I'm like, Lieutenant, please, you got Ratchet, you got me on a stretcher. What about the old timer? He said, bro, who are you talking about? These are 2-man cells. There's nobody in your cell. There's not been anybody in your cell. I'm like, Lieutenant, dude, every night he goes out and does the laundry. And he's like, bro, what are you talking about? Them 2 Northerners right there do the laundry. You know them. And they were kind of solid. I'm like, no, bro, he comes out all the time. And at this time in the prison, underwear have gone missing. Like dirty drawers. People be like, yo, CO. Like, bro, where are my underwear? People there was like weird homosexual tension because people thought there was like a crazy booty bandit because hundreds of pairs of dirty underwear went missing. And we thought nothing about it, but y'all, it's going to get good. So I'm sitting there like shaking in blood, and they put some morphine in me like that because I was so poked up. And so I'm thinking in my head, like, it's just the morphine talking, so I get airlifted out, airlifted. And I'm sitting there, I'm laying in the hospital like, oh, luckily they give me some Dilaudid because that's the only thing that works for my pain. Well, I stay in the hospital for 4 days, have like 9 surgeries, physical therapy, all that. And I get back to the prison, and my homeboy Ratchet's in a wheelchair. They severed part of his spine, his vertebrae. So me and him are sitting in the break room. And the lieutenant's like, I'm checking on y'all good. I said, Lieutenant, no disrespect. I know I've been on a lot of morphine, all that. But I need to tell you something. I said, I want to know how old timer is. And I think I remember because of the morphine y'all gave me that you said there was only 2 people in the cell. He's like, Big Sid, no disrespect. I know you're an OG. You're a solid Caucasian. You love the poor. You love God. You're just a solid Caucasian. He was a solid Hispanic dude. Me and him were like, he was solid, dude, for a cop. And he's like, bro, look, we both, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to show you the cameras, okay? And I'm going to show you every day all the footage are coming out of the cells, bro. There's no one but you and Ratchet. And so I'm sitting there at the lieutenant's office drinking a Pepsi. Because, bro, I would just go in those coolers and get stuff because they'd be scared to not tell me not to. And I'm sitting there watching this video, bro. If you won't believe it, nobody came out of the cell. And you see me and Ratchet, like, laughing, like acting like there's someone else there. And we had to go down to the psychiatrist and stuff like that. And I told them, like, yeah, I just need some Xannies, you know, and they gave me some. But turns out, bro, there was no one there, bro. But this is what gets crazy. I'm sitting in the lieutenant's office, and they have a wall of shame where there was convicts that were really bad convicts. And I'm like, oh, Lieutenant, that's him. But that's the old timer right there on the wall. That's him, dude. That's the dude. They said, bro, he died in 1936. I said, what? They said, that prisoner died in 1936. He was locked up in the 1800s when this prison was built. I was like, what you mean? And just then, this kind of heavy-set guard comes in and said, yo, Lieutenant, we found a closet full of dirty underwear, bro. And a newspaper that's talking about the Titanic sinking. What's like, what? So, bro, they run in there, there are a lot of spider alarms going off. And they find all these dirty underwear. And like a newspaper from like the 30s, I think. Whatever the Titanic sunk. 20s, whatever. The point is this, bro. That was a ghost. That old timer was not really there, bro. He was a ghost. And for a couple of months, bro, that's why he didn't eat the soup. There was nobody there. Because ghosts don't eat food. Straight up. They don't. Not omelets, not nothing, bro. Not soups. So straight up, dude. Me and Ratchet done had a cellmate for a couple of months. That was a ghost, bro. And all them dirty underwear, he had been taking them. Straight up, because that's what he did in the 20s. Because in the night, that's why they called it the Roaring 20s. Because people get mad if you had dirty drawers, man, because it wasn't like AC and stuff. So it was a bigger deal if you had a dirty butt. It was a much, people died over it, straight up. That's why they called it the Roaring 20s. But straight up, dude, that dude was a ghost. And it all made sense. And the worst part was seeing all that video footage. And me out there doing burpees like 2,000, 3,000. And Ratchet doing about 1,500. And we're sitting there like laughing. There's 3 towels laid down. And we're sitting there slapping someone on the back, but there's no one there. There was nobody there. It was a ghost. That old timer was a straight ghost. So that's my story, one of my stories of a ghost story in prison. Straight up, bro. I hope I don't give you nightmares with that, bro. But if you think that's bad, bro, I got some stories about angels and demons. And bro, I got some stories that you don't want to watch them by yourself. Because I have stories that I've done on other channels where people have watched them and disappeared. So don't watch my videos alone. But I will put a warning on those. But straight up, bro, that's what happened. And I've been doing some videos about ghost hunting. But straight up, dude, that's the craziest, probably the craziest ghost story I've ever had in prison. So just because you're talking to somebody eating soup with them, bro, straight up, they might be a ghost. And they might steal underwear, straight up. This is a big OG Sid staying like and subscribe. And as always, if someone crosses you, slap a diamond cutter on them. Roll call.